Welcome to a world where the impossible becomes reality. What if I told you that history's biggest events were predicted long before they happened? Sounds unbelievable, right? But it's real. A book described the Titanic disaster 14 years before it sank. A psychic warned about 9/11 years before it happened. Even The Simpsons predicted the future, again and again. Are these just eerie coincidences? Or is there something deeper at play? Stay tuned, because these 7 predictions will leave you questioning reality. Subscribe now, and let's dive in. The Titanic was one of the most tragic maritime disasters in history, but did you know it was predicted 14 years before it even happened? In 1898, an author named Morgan Robertson wrote a novel called Futility, or The Wreck of the Titan. The book described a luxury ocean liner that was said to be unsinkable. It hit an iceberg in the North Atlantic and sank, killing thousands of passengers. Now, let's compare this fictional ship, the Titan, to the real-life Titanic, which sank in 1912. Both were British passenger liners. Both were called unsinkable. Both were about the same size and speed. Both hit icebergs in the North Atlantic. Both had an insufficient number of lifeboats. The Titan in the book even sank in the same month, April. The similarities don't stop there. In the novel, the Titan was traveling at nearly the same speed as the Titanic when it struck the iceberg. The lack of lifeboats in both cases meant that most passengers had no chance of survival. How did Morgan Robertson write a book so eerily similar to a disaster that hadn't happened yet? Some believe it was just a bizarre coincidence. Others wonder if Robertson had some kind of unexplained foresight. Could this be an example of a strange phenomenon where reality follows fiction? Or is there something bigger at play? What do you think? Let us know in the comments. In 1989, a well-known psychic named Baba Vanga made a chilling prediction. Horror, horror. The American brothers will fall after being attacked by the steel birds. She also mentioned, a great city will be in flames. Innocent people will suffer. The world will change forever. Years later, on September 11, 2001, 2 planes crashed into the Twin Towers in New York City. The American brothers, a reference to the twin buildings, fell after being hit by steel birds airplanes. The eerie part? Baba Vanga made this prediction more than a decade before it happened. Skeptics argue that the prophecy is too vague, only making sense in hindsight. But believers think she truly foresaw one of the biggest tragedies of the 21st century. Baba Vanga's predictions didn't stop there. She also claimed the world would face massive floods and natural disasters. A major economic crisis would shake the globe. Humans would eventually make contact with extraterrestrial life. Is Baba Vanga just a coincidence, or was she truly gifted with an ability to see the future? The Simpsons is known for its crazy, over-the-top jokes. But what happens when one of their jokes comes true years later? In the year 2000, in an episode titled Bart to the Future, The Simpsons showed a fictional future where Donald Trump became president of the United States. At the time, it seemed like a wild, unrealistic joke. Trump was a businessman and TV personality, not a politician. Then, in 2016, 16 years later, Trump actually became president. The weird part? The show depicted Trump walking down an escalator while waving at fans. In real life, Trump did the exact same thing when he announced his candidacy. Even the camera angles were nearly identical. But this isn't the only time The Simpsons predicted the future. They also foreshadowed smartwatches, shown in 1995, decades before they became popular. The Disney-Fox merger predicted 20 years before it happened. The invention of autocorrect long before smartphones existed. The show has an uncanny ability to predict real-life events. Is it just luck? Or do The Simpsons writers know something we don't?
Leonardo da Vinci is remembered as a genius artist, scientist, and inventor. But was he also able to see the future? In the 1400s, da Vinci sketched detailed designs of flying machines, hundreds of years before airplanes were even imagined. He designed a helicopter-like machine called the aerial screw. He drew a parachute decades before the first real parachute was built. His sketches even resemble modern airplanes, long before the Wright brothers' first flight. What's even more incredible, Many of Da Vinci's ideas were scientifically accurate. His notes reveal an advanced understanding of aerodynamics, mechanics, and engineering, centuries ahead of his time. But didn't stop there. His notebooks also contained designs for tanks, diving suits, and even an early version of calculator. How did one man conceptualize so many future inventions before they were possible? Was Da Vinci simply a visionary genius? Or did he have knowledge far beyond his era?
Mark Twain, the famous American writer, not only shaped literature but also made a chilling prediction about his own death, down to the exact year. Twain was born in 1835, the same year that Halley's Comet passed by Earth. He once said, "I came in with Halley's Comet in 1835. It is coming again next year, and I expect to go out with it." At the time, it sounded like a poetic statement. But in 1910, Halley's Comet returned, and Mark Twain died that very year. The eerie accuracy of his prediction left many people stunned. Was it just a coincidence? Or did Twain have an intuitive sense of his own fate? This wasn't the only time Twain showed an unusual awareness of destiny. He also had premonitions about events in his own life, including the tragic death of his younger brother, which he reportedly saw in a dream before it happened. Many believe that some individuals have an unexplained ability to sense future events. Twain's case remains one of the most famous examples of a person predicting their own death with astonishing accuracy.
In 1863, French writer Jules Verne wrote a novel called Paris in the 20th century. At the time, it seemed like pure science fiction, but today, many of his predictions have come true with shocking accuracy. The book described a future filled with glass skyscrapers towering over the city, high-speed trains transporting people across vast distances, and electric-powered cars replacing traditional vehicles. But perhaps the most unbelievable prediction? Verne described the invention of the internet, decades before computers even existed. His book mentioned a worldwide communications network where people could instantly send messages and access information. Other details in his novel also included video calls, fax machines, and a society obsessed with technology, long before any of these became reality. At the time, Verne's novel was rejected by publishers for being too unrealistic. Yet today, it reads like a blueprint for the modern world. How did Jules Verne write about technology that wouldn't exist for over a century? Was he just an imaginative genius? Or was he unknowingly predicting the future? One of the most bizarre real-life predictions came from a woman named Dorothy Allison. She wasn't a scientist or a historian. She was a psychic, and her visions led to a chilling discovery. Dorothy claimed that she had a vision of a missing child's location. In her dream, she saw a warehouse near a river, the number 222, and a blue sign with the word Marriott. At first, no one believed her. But 2 weeks later, the child body was found in a warehouse near a river on Route 222 next to a Marriott hotel. Investigators were stunned. How could she describe such specific details about a place she had never been? Was it just an eerie coincidence? Or did she truly have some kind of psychic ability? This wasn't the only time Dorothy Allison made headlines. Over the years, she reportedly helped police with multiple cases, providing clues that led to real discoveries. Stories like this leave many questioning whether some people have an unexplained connection to events before they happen. Whether it's a rare intuition or something even more mysterious, the accuracy of her vision remains one of the most intriguing cases of real-life predictions coming true. These 7 predictions remain some of the most chilling examples of the future being foretold. Each one makes us question, how is it possible to predict events with such accuracy? Were these just coincidences, lucky guesses, or is there something beyond our understanding at work? From books that describe disasters before they happened to psychics who saw the future in dreams, these cases continue to fascinate and disturb us. If you love exploring mysteries like this, don't forget to subscribe, hit that like button, and turn on notifications so you never miss another deep dive into the world's strangest events. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.